Welcome to The Explainer. In these explainers, we find the research, cut through all that noise, and get right to what you need to know.
I mean, we're just bombarded with ads all day, every day, right? On our TVs, our phones, pretty much everywhere we look. But have you ever actually stopped and wondered which ones are really effective? Which of these messages genuinely get you to pull out your wallet?
Well, way back in 2009, a researcher named Sanjeev Verma decided, you know what? Let's stop guessing. Let's use some actual data to figure this out. And what he found, well, it might just change how you look at every single commercial from now on.
Okay, so first things first, let's dig into how they even set up this investigation.
So the study was really focused. They talked to over 1,000 people in India's national capital region. And the product they were looking at? Soft drinks. Super simple, right? But the goal was huge, to figure out with real numbers which ad messages actually make someone decide, yep, I'm going to buy that. All right, so the first thing the study did was to split every ad into one of two big buckets. Super simple.
Yeah, in the advertising world, they call this appealing to the head or the heart. So you've got rational appeals. Those are the ones that hit you with logic, with facts and figures, trying to convince your brain. And then you have the emotional appeals. Those go straight for your feelings. They want to connect with you through mood, through your identity.
All right, let's kick things off with the head. You know, when advertisers try to get all logical with us, which arguments actually work?
I mean, you'd think so, right? That giving people more information, more facts about the product, educating them, that would be the smart play for a rational ad. But is that really what the data tells us?
And the answer is, whoa. It's surprisingly clear. As you can see right here, the only rational appeal that worked across the board was refreshment. But now look closer. Check out product attributes and educative info. It's not just that they didn't work, they actually made people less likely to buy. That's kind of wild.
So the data here is just crystal clear. When you're talking about something simple, like a soda, trying to overload consumers with a boring list of features or a mini lecture, it's a total bust. Your brain doesn't want to do homework. It just wants that simple, easy promise of feeling refreshed. That's it.
Okay, so that's the head. Now let's talk about the heart. And trust me, this is where things get really interesting and a little bit surprising.
Seriously, ask anyone, what makes a great ad? And they'll probably say, oh, it was funny. We all love a good laugh from a commercial, right? It just feels like a sure bet, a foolproof way to get our attention and make us like a brand. It's got to be the most powerful tool they have, right?
But this is the biggest shocker in the entire study. Just look at the row for humor. It had basically no statistical impact on grabbing our attention, and it did next to nothing for getting us to buy again. Sure, humor could maybe push a one-time sale, but it is absolutely not the powerhouse we all think it is.
And the author of the study, he says it himself, just point blank. That whole idea, that common belief that a funny ad is the key to getting attention, well, the data he collected just didn't support it at all. The evidence just wasn't there.
So, what's the big takeaway here? The real emotional heavy hitters were thrill and pride, ads that made you feel excited, maybe a little daring, or gave you a sense of self-worth. Those were the ones that grabbed attention, got people to buy, and built loyalty. Humor? Yeah, it was pretty much a one-hit wonder, if that.
Okay, so we've just busted some pretty big advertising myths. So what does all this research tell us? What's the real playbook for making an ad that actually gets the job done, according to the data?
You know, it really boils down to this simple, three-step playbook that kind of flips a lot of conventional ad wisdom on its head. For the rational side, the head, forget the info dump. Just promise one thing, refreshment. For the emotional side, the heart, you want to aim for feelings of thrill and pride. And what about humor? Well, be careful. Be very careful. It might not be doing what you think it's doing. And really, this is the main lesson we can take away from all this. Great advertising, it isn't just some creative art form based on gut feelings and what we think should work. It's a science. It's about understanding what actually connects with people's heads and their hearts. And this study gives us a fantastic data-backed peek behind that curtain. So there you have it. You've got the framework now.
The next time you see an ad, and you know you will, try to be the analyst. See if you can spot what they're doing. Are they going for your head with that refreshment angle, or are they aiming for your heart with thrill and pride? And here's the most important question. For you, personally, is it working?